Yo, my people, we are back again for another video, and this should be a big one. This should be a good one. This is the World Cup, as you can see on the title, my World Cup prediction video. This is probably the first World Cup video that we're doing on this channel now, I think. So this is gonna be big, people. This is gonna be big. Most of the World Cup content that we've been doing, or that I've been doing most, has been on TikTok. So this is the first that is on YouTube alongside with the watch alongs that are gonna come for the rest of the tournament. We know that we've been very on and off this season, so this World Cup season we're going hard, we're going big, we're going strong. We're trying to make up for being inactive for most part of the season. So don't be surprised to be seeing us live for most of the matches from here on. We're still trying to sort out the schedule, the fixture list on what games we're going to do in Red Hat. For me, my aim is to try and get as many of the African games done as possible. That's not going to be easy. Make no mistake about it, because the time zone difference. Some of the games are playing at some unfriendly hours, playing at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 11 at night. And then you just gotta find a way to align those match times, those match schedules with work, with life. So we're gonna find a way. We're gonna get through it. If I can't do it myself, one of the guys should be able to do it. But one way or another, we will try to be live for most of the games, anyways. Starting from Thursday, the World Cup opening game, Mexico, South Africa. We're getting on. We're starting on a bang. Hopefully, that is going to be a good game. I mean, on paper, it should be a good game. Two good teams, two exciting teams. This is basically a rematch of the 2010 World Cup game, which ended in a draw. The famous Shabalala goal. So yeah, people, this should be an interesting World Cup. It should be an interesting tournament, to say the least. This is the first, just to make it clear, this is the first, for those who don't know, this is the first World Cup with 48 teams from the standard 32 teams that we had in the past couple of years. And this is the first World Cup tournament that we're going to have third place teams, the best third place teams qualifying from most of the groups. In previous World Cup tournaments, it has always been top two, straight through the knockouts. And I think we will be having around the 32 as well in this tournament. So, which is different from previous tournaments where it's just been, you get past the knockouts, the group stages, and you're on through to the last 16. So I think the fixtures as well has doubled in total. The tournament fixtures has doubled from like 64 to like over 100 games. So it's crazy. It's crazy how much football that we're going to be accustomed to, we're going to be exposed to in this tournament. So people, whether it's from me or from other content creators out there, there's going to be a lot of activity going on YouTube and all streaming platforms for the next month and a month and a half, to be honest. Whether it's just World Cup content or content just for football in general, whether people are talking about their clubs or whatnot, there's going to be a lot of content, a lot of stuff to be spoken about. And with the transfer window as well, looming as well. So there's going to be a lot going on, people. But yeah, without further ado, like I said, this video is a World Cup prediction video. I'm just basically going to be going through each and every group. I mean, like I said, there's 48 teams, so it's going to be hard to try and give a full detailed explanation, full detailed description on every team. But I'll try my best to just give a little summary on my opinion on each team. And forgive me if I just scrape through and I just brush through some teams and just rush through it. It's because it's 48 teams. I mean, after all, like I said, wouldn't be able to sit down and give a detailed explanation, detailed, view on each of the 48 teams. So yeah, I'll just be going through the group stages, the knockout stages, and then eventually we will find out who my winner of the tournament is. To be honest with you, people, I don't even know who I'm gonna have winning the tournament. Obviously, I've got favorites. I've got teams that I expect, I think, will be in the business end of the conversation, and dark horses. But in terms of winner, I don't have a winner, because I don't even know, depending on the picks I pick, I don't know how the the draw is gonna play out, how the schedule is gonna play out going to the knockout stages. So, I might have a pick right now in my head, but then as the games go on, I might change my mind. So I don't wanna. I'm going here very open minded as I'm making this draw. So that's why I've not fixated my head on a specific team. But yeah, people, it should be an interesting tournament. Obviously, Congo are through, so albeit us being in a tough group is still exciting, still a blessing to see us be in the tournament. To see us play against the best. You're playing against a Portugal team with Ronaldo Silva, Bruno, the midfield duo that won the Champions League back to back with PSG. So it's great. But yeah, it's the World Cup. You're exposed to talent all over the world. You're exposed to the best players. So yeah, I can't wait, really. Can't wait, people. But yeah, to be honest with you, before I go and make my predictions, I'm gonna go and predict my top scorer of the tournament. I'm gonna go and say my top scorer of the tournament. This is a hard one now, people. This is a hard one. Just the amount of talent that is gonna be on show that are gonna be on. But I'm gonna go for, depending on just with how the fixture list is looking, I will go for Harry Kane as my top scorer. Why am I going for Harry Kane? I don't know, to be honest. I expect him to start most of the games. I think England's fixture list is pretty comfortable for the quality of players they have. It's pretty comfortable. And I expect England to go deep into the tournament as well. So I would put my money on Kane to be top scorer. I think he was the top scorer in the last tournament. Probably he was in the conversation. I know that for certain. But yeah, I would put Kane. Dark horses, I would say my dark horses would probably be. I will go either. I don't know. Would Japan still be considered as a dark horse? I mean, they have been making their name these last couple of tournaments now. I think ever since the World Cup in 2014, 2018, where they went toe to toe against Belgium and took Belgium right till the end. Yeah, I think yeah. I mean, probably there's still people out there who didn't give Japan respect. So I would probably go for Japan and Norway to be my dark horses. Norway had an incredible qualification round. I think they went undefeated in all their games, in a group where they had Italy as well. They beat Italy in Italy to qualify for the World Cup. So by all means, they're no small fit to be playing against. So probably Japan and Norway. But yeah, people, I guess without further ado, let me hop on and get this loaded up, and this predictor loaded up, and then we can see who we have on. Let me just have a look. Just bear with me. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay. All right. For those of you who are on, I hope you can see the screen. If you can't see the screen, just let me know, and I will just try to readjust the screen. But I think should be fine anyways. So these are the 4 groups. The first 4 groups, Group A to D. Group A, we got Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and the Czech Republic. And obviously Mexico are one of the hosts, so they qualified automatically by default. Mexico, they're not the Mexico of old, from what I know. In terms of quality, I mean, they're not the Mexico of old. They still have a few household names still playing football in Europe's top leagues, Raul Jimenez and so on and so forth. Ochoa is still hanging about, but like I said, they're not the Mexico of old. Back in the day, they used to be the best team in Central America. North America, sorry. But now I think it's fair to say that America have a better squad on paper, in a ways, have a better squad than they do um, in the North America continent. So yeah, but in fact, the fact that they're a host, automatically gives them a big boost. You know how the Mexican fans are very passionate about football, very passionate in general about the team. So definitely, definitely, they should have a conversation in this group. Um, I think it would. I think it would be definitely a surprise if they didn't get through this group. Second, South Africa, obviously, you know, 2010 hosts had their first World Cup in home soil against Mexico, and like I said, this is going to be a rematch of the 2010 match. It was a draw. The South African team now, it's not. It's a very good team. Let me just put it out there. It's a very, very good team. This is a team that went deep in the AFCON. Well, they lost in the quarterfinals to Cameroon in the most recent AFCON, but the AFCON before that, they got to the semifinals and unfortunately bowed out to Nigeria. So this is a very good, very, very good South Africa team. Most of their players are homegrown talent. They've got one or two players playing in Europe, such as playing overseas, such as Lyle Foster for Burnley, um, the chap that plays in America for Chicago Fire, and Bokazi, I think that's his name. Um, so they have one or two faces that are playing overseas, but majority of the squad is play play down south, play in Africa, play in South Africa. So the team chemistry would be there, would be tight because most of the team would be playing against each other week in, week out, would be seeing each other, almost like England back in the day, the England squads of the past, where 95% of the squad played in the Premier League, played against each other, saw each other week in, week out. Obviously, unfortunately for the England team, it had a negative effect where players prioritized their clubs more over the national team when they were going to the national camps. Um, you've heard the stories of players, the Chelsea players in the Chelsea camp, the Man United players in the Man United camp. But I don't think it's the same here with the South African national team. I don't think so. But yeah, like I said, because most of the players play in the National League, there's that chemistry already. South Korea, obviously South Korea. You mentioned South Korea. The first name that stands out is Son Heung-min Son. He has been the mainstay. He has been the face of South Korea for probably the best part of 10, 12 years. Took the helm from Park Ji-sung, and look, it looks like he's just embraced the role of being the man, being the main man. We know how his career has been. Obviously, winning the Europa League in his last season at Spurs as a captain. Obviously, moved on to America at LAFC. Top player, top player. He's always been a top player, both for club and country. There's some players that are top for their clubs and then can't replicate it for their country. But he's been the top player. He's been the main man for his country. He's replicated in the tournaments. He scored in World Cups. He scored in Asian Cups. So he's been the guy. So South Korea have always been around in recent tournaments. They've been around. So they're consistent when it comes to the World Cup. They know the World Cup. I wouldn't say that they're going to be overwhelmed by the magnitude of the tournament. And they always have a loud, respectful, strong fan base that always comes and support their players, that always comes and support their teams. You look at the massive fan base when Son was in London. The massive Korean fan base that were always rooting for Son, always supporting him week in, week out. So there's a strong fan base in there. And last but not least, the Czechs. I mean, I live in Ireland. I'm Irish, so the Czech Republic had to play against Ireland in order to get through to the World Cup. And Ireland were 2-0 up in Prague. 2-0 up, looking well that first half, but then the Czech Republic found a way to make it 2-2 to score and level up, and then went on to win on penalties. And obviously, they went to win on penalties. They got through to the next stage, the final, the qualifiers, and I think it was Denmark they beat in the final, and then here they are in the World Cup. So it could have been Ireland in this group, in Group A, and I'll tell you for free, if had it been Ireland in this Group A, the fan base, like, just to picture an Ireland v Mexico match day, oof, in America possibly would have been crazy. Because the amount of Irish people that are in America in general already, let alone those that were gonna plan to take the trip down to America for this game, would have been crazy. But nonetheless, taking nothing away from the Czechs, they played well, they fought well, and they deserve to get where they're at. Beating Ireland on penalties, and then beating a good Denmark team as well. It's no easy feat, so they deserve to be where they're at. And the Czech as well, they've got some household names as well, like your Souček, Thomas Souček, Patrick Schick. They've got some household names, so they will not be no easy feat for sure. They're not going to be an easy feat. But without further ado, I'm gonna go for my predictions. Mexico, South Africa is the first game. That game, I think both teams are similar in quality, so I think that probably should be a score draw. Korea's Czech Republic as well. Like I said, this is not Korea's first rodeo in the World Cup, so they should not be feeling overwhelmed. Do you know what? Just because they're the host, I'm gonna go for Mexico as first place. Just because they're the host, not because I think they're much superior than the rest of the teams in this group. Just because they're hosts. The fans, everywhere they play, the fans are going to be behind them. The first game being in Guadalajara in Mexico, big, absolutely crazy. Just because of the first game alone being in Mexico, with the fans, with how passionate the fans can be, I expect them to just slightly get over South Africa. In second place, I am going to go for. I'm going to go for the Czechs. And this group is a weird one because, like I'm saying, I don't feel any team in this group is particularly the more superior than the other. It's just based on just Mexico, like I said, based on just home tournament, home team, the fan base. The Czechs, I think the Czechs they're hard to beat. They're the hardest to beat, in my opinion, of all the teams in this group. So that's why I have them in second. They probably won't score much, and they probably won't concede much. So I will have them in second. In third, I'm gonna go for South Africa and Korea in bottom place. Look, like it's a prediction. I could come out and be completely wrong. It's a prediction. I have South Africa because, like I said, I've seen South Africa. I watch South Africa much more consistently. See them in the AFCON or see them in the qualifiers. They finished top of their group. They finished top in the tough group. Make no mistake, they were in a group with Nigeria and Rwanda, I think. So they were in a very tough group. They played against Nigeria twice, and they didn't lose. So they're a very good team. They're a very good team. Make no mistake about it, people. So I have them in third place. Like, they play good football. They lost. They bowed out in the quarterfinals to Cameroon in this tournament, in the recent AFCON tournament. They had a team called Mamelodi Sundowns in the Club World Cup. For those of you who got a chance to see them, you see how well that Sundowns team played football. They played against, I think, Dortmund. They just narrowly lost to Dortmund. They played good football. They made a name out of themselves out there in that tournament. And majority of the players in that Sundowns team are in this South Africa squad. So that Sundowns team is a Sundowns team that have just won the African Champions League as well. So they're no small timers. And me putting Korea in bottom place is not me disrespecting them in any shape or form, because they have household names. They have players like Son, Kang In Lee. They have good players. Don't get me wrong, but I just think when it just comes down to it, um, yeah, that's just how I see it. But this group is definitely a group where it's gonna go down to head, how teams perform against one another rather than um yeah, because I don't think there's a superior team. So yeah, that's how I see it, people. That's my group A. Group B, we have Canada, Bosnia, Qatar, and Switzerland. And this is a very interesting group as well. Obviously, Canada are host as well in this group. Canada are host, so Mexico, Canada, and the USA are the three hosts of this tournament. Canada have got better over the years. I think this is their. I could be wrong, but this might be their first World Cup. I think. I don't think they were in the 22 World Cup, and they weren't in the 2018 World Cup. So I think this might just be their first World Cup. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. So their host nations, in terms of footballing wise, yeah, they're slightly behind. They're just slightly behind. They're still catching up to the USA and Mexico in terms of like magnitude in the footballing world. But they're no pushovers nonetheless. They're still one of them, one of the most feared teams to play against in North America. They had a decent run in the last Copa America. They do decent in in the American tournaments, but obviously the main player is what's his name, Alfonso Davies. Very injury prone, very good player nonetheless. He's been on and off in the Bayern Munich squad this season, but nonetheless still a good player, still a player with a lot of talent, good age. So can't take anything away from him. Obviously, since he's the main player, Canada would be expecting a lot out of him. So yeah, that's really all I can say on them. Bosnia and Herzegovina, this is their first World Cup as well since, I want to say, 2014. I don't remember them in 2018 or in 2022. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. I stand to be corrected. I'm happy to be corrected. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. But yeah, in 2014, they had a decent run. Narrowly lost to an Argentina team that made the World Cup final. So obviously, star player Edin Dzeko. Most of the players obviously would be playing in and around Europe. Would be playing more so in and around Eastern Europe. So yeah, they would have a strong core as well. I would be honest with you, not 100% certain on what you call it, on their chances in the tournament in general. But when you have a star player like Edin Dzeko, even though he's at the later years of his career, still a top talent, still a top player. And make no mistake, they didn't have it easy. They had to beat Italy in the qualifiers, in the qualifiers, in the playoffs, sorry, to get to here. Remember, Italy were in the group with Norway and finished second, and then they had to play Bosnia, and Bosnia beat Italy. I think they beat Italy in Bosnia and then drew in Italy. So yeah, so they didn't get here by luck. Is basically my point. So yeah, so they whoever qualified for this tournament deserves to be here. Make no mistake about it. Qatar hosted the previous tournament, had a very tough tournament, but then again, it was their first tournament. I think it'd be fair to say Qatar aren't renowned as a footballing nation, but I think for their own standards, they done okay in the last tournament. Now they're here to qualify for this tournament, so clearly it just shows that they deserve to be here. They're getting there. They're getting to where they want to be in the Asian world. So yeah, Switzerland, final team in the group. I mean, Switzerland have been in and around the tournaments. They've been in and around the Euros, in and around the World Cup. So they're no stranger to these tournaments, to these international tournaments. Household names as well. Your Jordan Shakiris, your Granit Xhakas of this world, your Jan Sommers, your Brilliant Bolos of this world. So they're no strangers to the tournament. They're no strangers to European football. We've seen many of their players play in, whether it's for our clubs or in tournaments that our clubs are in, or in big tournaments. So they've always been in and around, and they always make a good name for themselves. They always put a good show out for themselves in these tournaments. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna go in top. Obviously, I'm gonna go for Switzerland, just with the description I had of them. I'm most familiar with their players. I'm most familiar with them as a team because, this isn't their first rodeo. They've been here. They've done it, been there, done that. They always make the knockout stages in these tournaments. So yeah, I would have them in top. In second place, I will go for I'll go for Bosnia, just because of the Edin Dzeko factor. And similarly to the Czech Republic, Bosnia are a team that, in this group specifically, they are going to be hard to beat. They probably will not be blazing through teams for goals, but they will not be easy to beat. So that's the reason why I have them in second place. Canada would be in third for me. I know, yes, they're one of the host nations, and yes, the fans will be behind them, but like I said, they're still playing catch up to America and Mexico in terms of like the popularity of football. So the fans are still trying to get the hang of football, still trying to climatize to football, basically. So I don't think the support will be as patriotic or as passionate as the Mexicans. And look, if I'm wrong, I accept to be wrong. But then again, it's my opinion. It's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. If you agree with it, great. If you don't, it's okay as well. It's just my opinion. Qatar in bottom, maybe I'm disrespecting them, but yeah, that's just how I see it. No disrespect to any Qataris that are watching this. No disrespect, but yeah, that's just how I see it. Group C: Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Brazil are always there every World Cup. When you think of a World Cup, you think of Brazil. You think of Ronaldo, Kaká, Rivaldo, Pele. The list goes on. Falcao, Retete. When you think of a World Cup, you think of Brazil, the Seleção, the team with the most World Cups in history, 5 World Cups to date. So could this be 6? Only time will tell. Obviously, big news: Neymar made the official 26-man squad. Big news in Brazil: Neymar's adored. This could be his last rodeo, his final tournament. Could this be the one where he takes it all home? Who knows? We just have to wait and see. But I think the inclusion of Neymar into the Brazil squad has just brought a lift up to the players, has brought a lift up to the fan base that maybe they could go out and get it. For me, in my opinion, don't get me wrong, Brazil is still a good team. They're still a team to be reckoned with, a team to still fear. But I feel like over the years, Brazil have lost their fear factor in tournaments, especially in the World Cup. Since the 2010 World Cup, they've probably lost their fear factor. I'm not saying that people are thinking Brazil are shit, but I mean that people are going to tournaments thinking that if we get to play against Brazil, we can give them a game. We can take them on. Whether we win or not is a different conversation, but they feel confident enough that they could take Brazil on. In 2014, obviously, they made the semifinal, and then the famous 7-1 defeat to Germany. 2018, they lost in the quarterfinals. Was it 2018? Did they lose in the quarterfinals? I think they did lose in the quarterfinals. Who did they lose to now? I want to say they lost to... Oh, I can't remember actually who they lost to in the quarter. Oh, yeah. They lost to Belgium. Kevin De Bruyne finished, top finish. I still remember it, like just on the edge of the box. They lost to Belgium. I mean, top Belgium. That was the golden generation Belgian team. 2022, they lost to the quarterfinals again to Croatia, I think, on penalties. And that game was I don't know what happened that game, but like they were leading, in the final, in the dying stages of extra time. And then somehow, I don't know if it was words from Tite or the players themselves just decided we can go and get the second. And they just went all gung-ho. And before you know it, They left themselves exposed to a counterattack. Croatia got in the counterattack before you know it, leveled 1-1, game gone to penalties, knocked out on penalties. And that was it. That was all she wrote. So the last two tournaments they've been knocked out in the quarterfinals. But it's clear that they always make it past the group stages. They always, make it past, try to get at least halfway through the knockout stages. So Brazil, obviously, in this player slash striker, if you want to name him that. So it was a big surprise for him to be left up. But then again, you still have players like Igor Thiago, who bagged over 20 goals in the Premier League. The first Brazilians who do that, I don't know since how long. You have Neymar, you have Vini, still at the top of his game. Rafinha, top of his game. Who's still Fabinho, albeit that he's playing in Asia. You have Alisson, you've got Ederson. You still have household names. You still have top players. Champions League winning captain Marquinhos. You've got Gabriel on the side there. So a Gabriel and Marquinhos partnership, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just a crazy defensive partnership. So yeah, Morocco, the infamous AFCON final against Senegal. The Senegalese players walking off because they didn't feel there was a penalty, and then Brahim going for a Panenka the penalty and then missing, and then Senegal going on to win, and then months later Morocco being announced as the champions. It's just a mess. So but then again, Morocco are no pushovers. I think they made a good name for themselves in the 2022 World Cup in the previous edition, getting as deep as they did all the way to the semifinals, the first African nation to get to the semifinals of a World Cup tournament. And not just getting there, but it's how they got there, by going through Spain, going through Portugal, so they're no pushovers, Morocco, make no mistake about it. So they have a good case for sure. They're gonna have a good case in this tournament and in this group for sure. Obviously household names, Champions League winning right back, Achraf Hakimi, going there. I think he's the captain, so he's going there to lead them all the way. Yusuf Bono, very good keeper, top keeper, very good when it comes to penalties, very good in general. So if Morocco were to get to the knockout stages and get through past extra time and on penalties, you back him to be the man. Nusar Masraoui obviously plays for Man United. What's his name? They've got household names, guys like Unai, guys like Amrabat. I don't know if En-Nesyri got picked. I don't think he did actually. But they've got household names, so they're no pushovers. Haiti, to be honest with you, this is their first tournament ever, so it's going to be hard for them. But obviously the excitement is there. The fans are, first ever tournament, big for the country, big for the fans, big for the economy. Expectations, anything, if they could get anything past this group, I think it's a win. It's them making the World Cup is a win. So yeah. And Scotland, this is their first tournament since, I want to say probably, it's been a while now, since the 90s, I think, if I'm not mistaken, since the 90s. So this is big for them, big for the Scottish nation, big for the Scottish fan base, household names as well. They've got players playing all over England, all over the UK, Captain Marvel, Andy Robertson. They've got players, Kieran Tierney, guys like, what's his name, like Scott McTominay, just shelling it up in Italy with Napoli. Callum McGregor, John McGinn, Europa League winning captain with Aston Villa. So they've got household names. They've got a strong core. They've got experience in that team. Definite experience. Like, mention names like Robertson, Kieran Tierney, McGinn, McTominay. These are players these are strong core players with experience, players who've been in and around. So they're not going to be no pushovers. They done well in the last Euros as well. So they're not going to be any pushovers for sure. But without further ado, in top, I'm going to go for I think I'm going to go for Brazil in top. I mean, Brazil have the more standout of players on paper, but obviously the game isn't played on paper. But I think Brazil will be top because of how well they do in these two games. I think they're going to have it tough against Morocco. Morocco's their first game. This game probably ends as a score draw, but I think they will be too much for both Haiti and Scotland. In second place, I'm going to go for Morocco because Morocco are probably, arguably, one of the best teams in Africa, if not the best. Made the semi-final in the last edition, have top players playing around Europe, playing around the world. So they're not going to be any pushovers. Third place, I'm going to go for Scotland, and Haiti in fourth place. And yeah, Group D, USA, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. USA, one of the three hosts, getting better by the year, getting better by the minute. Household names as well in and around Europe. Timothy Weah, Captain America, the LeBron James of soccer, Christian Pulisic, Haji Wright for Coventry, Tim Ream, Anthony Robinson, Matt Turner. So they do have household names. They do have players who are playing in and around in Europe, in England. So they're a team that they're a good team. They've got a good core, strong core. They do well now. They're doing better as well when it comes to the American tournament, whether it's the Gold Cup. The Gold Cup, I don't know if they won the last one, or I think they did. They get into the business end. The Copa Americas, they're getting deeper and deeper. So yeah, they're not as much of a, I wouldn't say, maybe pushover is the wrong word to use, but they're not as much of a team where you can sit down and say, oh yeah, they're rubbish, as you could have easily said in the past. And because they're one of the hosts as well, I think, having the American fan base behind them, and all these kind of things, I think is a big boost for the country, is a big boost for the team, which might play in their favor. Sometimes for countries like America, where they're still trying to climatize, still trying to incorporate football or soccer, as they call it, into their culture, when they're going through these tournaments where it's like in Qatar or Retete, it's hard for the fans to follow along because it's still a sport where they're still trying to adopt into their culture. But the tournament being in America itself, in their home nation, it makes it easier for that support to come. It makes it easier for the players to feel that support because it's in their home nation. So yeah, Paraguay, star player Julio Enciso, haven't been to the World Cup since 2010, where they had a decent run and, bowed out to, a Spanish team that went on to win the World Cup. So that's no embarrassment, 2010 had players such as Oscar Cardozo and whatnot. So there, when you get out of the South American continent to qualify for the World Cup, you have to be one of the best, for sure. You have to be one of the best. So Paraguay, they're not there by luck. They would be obviously used to the conditions, the hot conditions in Americas. So weather should not be an issue for them. Australia seems to be there every tournament, every World Cup. I think they're one of the household names now, coming from Oceania. So yeah, I think Australia, have been there, during the years of Team Cahill, of Mark Viduka, of Mark Schwarzer. Now, obviously, it's a new generation, new players, but it's still a good Australia team that do well in their continent, that still are making the tournaments. So they will not be easy to beat, for sure. They will not be easy to beat. Turkey, Turkey, very good team, very passionate fans, very passionate country. Have teams always in the top European competitions, i.e. Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Besiktas. So they have good players. You have your star players such as your Çalhanoğlu's, your Arda Güler of this world. So they won't be an easy team to play against. Definitely not an easy team to play against. I don't know. Is this is their first World Cup, I think, since I don't know since how long, but I don't think they were in the last World Cup. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So this should be an interesting group. Definitely, all the teams here they're not far off each other on paper in a way, so it should be a good group. Without further ado, in top, I'm gonna go for. Oh, this is hard now. I'm gonna go for. I'll go for Turkey in top, just because Turkey would have the most, uh, with the best player in there in the group is Arda Güler. So that's why I'm going for them. I think they would have the more weapons of the other teams in the group. Second place, I'm going for America, the US. They're the host nation, one of the three host nations. Yeah, good players as well. Like I mentioned, Timothy Weah, Folarin Balogun, Captain America, Christian Pulisic. They have a good core. Obviously, their manager is none other than Mauricio Pochettino, top manager. So yeah, I would have the US in second. Third and fourth. Oh my goodness, this is hard. I'm gonna go Australia in third, Paraguay bottom, and I'm going Paraguay bottom not because of disrespect, not because I think Paraguay are shit or they're worse than the rest of the teams. I just think probably when it comes to the head-to-head, um, I think, in my honest opinion, I think both Paraguay and Australia will probably finish on the same number of points, but it's just probably due to goal difference or fair play, whatever it's going to be down to, that will put Paraguay down at the bottom, in my opinion. So I guess the first four groups are done. Let's move on to the next four groups: Germany, Curacao, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ecuador. Germany. No words need to be explained on Germany. I think Germany's Germany, one of the household names, 4-time champions of the world to date. The last tournament, 2022, who did they lose to? I think they didn't have a great run in 2022 now. From what I can remember, they didn't have a great run. They've not had a great run since they've won it in 2014. In 2018, they bowed out in the group stages, obviously, famously losing to South Korea in the last game. In 2022, I can't remember who knocked them out now, but I know they didn't have a great run to their standard, anyways. So yeah. But look, household names: Florian Wirtz, Leroy Sané, Kai Havertz, Champions League finalist, Champions League winner with Chelsea, Manuel Neuer back in the fold, Jonathan Tah, Schlotterbeck, manager, Julian Nagelsmann, who's top manager in fairness. So, who led them to the Euros I think they went all the way to the semifinals and lost to Spain, who went on to win the tournament. So, good core, good team, good players. Leon Goretzka, Joshua Kimmich. So yeah, very good team. But yeah, look, nothing more to say on them. It's self-explanatory. Curacao, I don't know how to pronounce it. Correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrongly. First ever tournament, first ever World Cup, but they had a very good run in the qualifiers. They were in the same group as Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken. To be in a group with Jamaica and still make it top and qualify, forcing Jamaica to go through the intercontinental playoffs, shows that they are no pushovers, in the Caribbean world. So, their star player would be Tahith Chong. They would have a lot of players that are dual citizens, dual nationalities. They would have a lot of players who would be Dutch, but maybe didn't get through the Dutch system, through the Dutch national team, and now decided to switch allegiances and play for Curacao. Um, so yeah, Cote d'Ivoire. I mean, they won the previous, not this AFCON, not this current one, the previous one. They were the host nation. They infamously finished third place in that group actually, and then sacked their manager and got a new manager who went to win the tournament by beating Senegal in the final. A Senegal team that went on to win this edition of the AFCON. So Ivory Coast have a good team, good core, top players who are playing in and around Europe, in France, in Belgium, in England. Top players. The players to watch out from their team would be your Yan Diamandes of this world, who plays in Germany for Leipzig. Amad Diallo, obviously, Man United fans would know him. Frank Kessié, who's playing in the Middle East. Evan Gisand. I'm not sure if Allaire has been picked. I would assume he has been picked. Van Dika, who plays for center back for Roma, if I'm not mistaken. Kusunu. So they have a good core, a good team. So I expect them to perform well. Ecuador, top team, probably top 5 in South America. No pushovers. Had a very good run in the Copa America. Made it very difficult, albeit they lost to Argentina in the last Copa America. They made it difficult for them, though. And Valencia was just carrying that team. So very good core. Your Moses Caicedo, your Piero Hincapié, Champions League winning center back, William Pacho. So they have a very good team. They have good players we've seen, players we know are top players. So should not be any pushovers as well. But yeah, top, I'm going to go for Germany. Second place, definitely between Ecuador and Cote d'Ivoire. And this is the first game for the two teams. They're playing each other in the first game. Whoever wins this game, I think, is going to finish in second place. But I don't think there's going to be a winner in this game. I think it's going to be a score draw. But I'm going to go for Ivory Coast in second place, Ecuador in third, and Curacao in fourth. Group F, Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia. Very good group on paper. Probably the toughest group on paper so far. Netherlands, finalists in 2010, have a good group of players. Xavi Simons couldn't make it due to injury, but have still a good group, still a good core of players. Captain Virgil van Dijk still playing at the top of his game. Nathan Ake, Cody Gakpo, Memphis Depay, Tijani Reinders. The list goes on. They have a very good team. So I think the fans would be expecting them to make it towards the business end of the tournament. Have they? No, they have not usually. They've been on and off. In 2022, they lost to Argentina in the semifinals. In 2018, I can't remember what happened to them in 2018. I just can't remember in 2018. Did they even qualify in 2018? I wouldn't even be surprised if they didn't qualify in 2018. In 2014, obviously, 2014. What happened to them? I can't remember what happened to them in 2014, but you can tell by me not even remembering that they've been very on and off, since 2010, since making the final in 2010, they've been on and off in tournaments. So Japan are a household name as well. Japan have just been going from strength to strength, both in Asia and in the world, have been going from strength to strength. Top players who we're seeing playing in Europe, playing in the UK. Players like Daisen Maeda. Players like what you call it, like Nakamura. Like these might not be like star players, wall beaters in people's eyes, but these are top players. These are players that you underestimate them once and they will cook you. They are punishing you. So yeah, Sweden, they actually were bottom of their group. They finished outside the qualifying positions in their group, but they only got through to the playoffs because Was it because they won the? I think it was because they won the conference, not the conference league, because they won the Nations League or something like that. So that allowed them to be able to make it to the to the playoffs, and that's how they qualified by beating Poland in the final. But they have a good team, a striking partnership, striking duo of Viktor Gyökeres and Alex Isak. Um, they've got Lindelof still hanging around. No, they've got decent players. Tunisia, very hard team to beat. Very, very hard team to beat. One of the feared nations in North Africa. Very, very difficult team to beat. They're not the greatest now, like to watch. They're not the most entertaining, but they're hard to beat. Very, very difficult to beat. If you can look at their stats in the AFCON, last year's AFCON, you'll see they're very hard team to beat. They win games. They're very efficient, but they're hard to beat. They don't concede much. They probably don't score much as well. So yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna go for the Netherlands in top. Second place is gonna be it's gonna be tough. Second place, I'm gonna go for. This is sticky now, people. I won't lie. This is very sticky. I'm gonna go for. Just because of how. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Japan in second place, just because of how much hard work Sweden made to qualify for this tournament. I know they have Graham Potter in charge. I know Graham Potter is probably not. You don't think of him as, a wall beater of a manager, but he's still a decent manager. I'm gonna go for Sweden in third place and Tunisia at bottom. Group G: Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. I'm gonna go for Belgium in top. Second place. This is tough now. This is tough. I feel like it could go anywhere between these three teams. But you know what? Second place, I'm going to go for Egypt just because of the Mo Salah factor. Just because, the Mo Salah factor. Omar Marmoush still hanging around. Hegazi still hanging around. I'm just going to, Egypt, very difficult team to beat as well. They don't score many and they don't concede many, similarly to Tunisia. So very, very tough team to beat. Iran, I'm going to put in third place because Iran have been around the tournaments. Iran are very good as well. Iran have a very good team. And that's no disrespect. Like, similarly to Group B, I think. Is it Group B? I was talking. No, similarly to Group D, I feel like Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand, there's not going to be much between them, much difference between them in regards to point. It could go down simple to goal difference. It could go down to a single point between the three of them. But yeah, that's just how I see it anyways. Group H: Spain, Cape Verde, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Spain in top. I mean, they won the Euros. They're coming here in good form, coming here with confidence. Lamine Yamal made the squad. Should be clear to play. Should be injury-free to play. What's his name? Nico Williams, Fabian Ruiz, Champions League winning midfielder. Lenormand, Unai Simon, David Raya, Cucurella. They've got a good team, Spain. I mean, come on. Rodri, Ballon d'Or winning midfielder. Second place, I'm going to go for Uruguay. Strong core, always hard to beat, always hard to play against in the World Cup. Have been a household name in the World Cup as well these last couple of years. Hard to play against. Third place, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia, because I think they've impressed, since famously beating Argentina in 2022. I think they've made a decent account of themselves in world football amongst people. So, that's how I see it. Group I: France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. And this is going to be a good group. This is going to be good fixtures. Sadio Mane against Erling Haaland. Sadio Mane against Kylian Mbappe against Erling Haaland. It's going to be it's tasty anyway. It's going to be tasty on paper. Very, very tasty. Top, I'm going to go for France. In second place, I will go for Senegal, African champions, best team in the land. They lost to England in the last World Cup, in the last 16, I think. Or in the last 16 or quarterfinals, if I'm not mistaken. No, in the last 16 they lost to England. So they're a very good team. They made an account since coming back to the World Cup for the first time in 2018. They made a good account for themselves. In 2018, they were very, very, very unlucky not to get to the knockout stages. They lost. They were knocked out because of, I think it was because of fair play. I think they ended level on points with, it was Colombia. They were in the same group as Colombia. I think Colombia, Japan, I think, if I'm not mistaken, one other team. And they bowed out because of goal difference. So unlucky. Because of fair play. So unlucky, But yeah, I have them finishing second. Top team, top players, Sadio Mane, Idrissa Gana Gueye, Sarr, Kalidou Koulibaly still hanging around, Edward Mendy, top keeper. So top team. Norway, I will go for third place. Norway, impressive qualifying run, finished top of their group, in a group with Italy, finished top, Erling Haaland and what's his name? They have a strike duo of Erling Haaland and the guy for Atletico Madrid. His name is just not popping in my head for some reason. Oh, Sarlot, yeah. So they've got Strand Larson, they've got Nosa hanging about, they've got Sander Berg. They've got a good team. They've got household players, household names that we see in the Premier League week in, week out, that we see in Europe. So they're not going to be no pushovers. And like I said, they finished top of their group, in a group with Italy, beating Italy in Italy. So they ain't going to be an easy team to beat. For sure, they're going to be, like I mentioned at the start of the stream, they're one of my dark horses. So they're going to be one of the teams that will definitely make the knockout stages. One of the third place teams that will make it the knockout stages, in my opinion. Olise player of the tournament. I mean, only time will tell. We will have to wait and see. Group J, world champions Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. I think this is Jordan's first ever tournament. This is the beauty with the World Cup and the increase in teams from 32 to 48 is that there's a couple of teams that are having their first ever tournament. So some, they might embrace the occasion, and some, it might just be too overwhelming for them. We will have to wait and see. Argentina, top. I mean, I think it's self-explanatory. When you have the best player in the world, well, not right now, obviously, but a best player of all time, in my opinion, still in the ranks, still doing his thing. Lautaro Martinez still hanging around. Julian Alvarez, Lisandro Martinez, Christian Romero, Cuti Romero, the Butcher is still around, Nicolas Tagliafico, Nahuel Molina, Emilio Martinez, Europa League winning center back, goalkeeper, top team. And like I said, they're the world champions, they're the South American champions, they're decorated. Lionel Scaloni, top manager. So, yeah. Self-explanatory. In second place, I'm going to go for Austria. Austria, good team. I love Austria. I love their manager, Ralf Hasenhüttl. Oh my goodness. Where's my mind going? Ralf Rangnick. Ralf Rangnick is their manager. Forgive me. Ralf Rangnick. Those of you who are associated with Man United fans, Ralf Rangnick. Although he didn't have a great stint with us, he's infamous for building the Leipzig profile, the Red Bull profile with Leipzig, and recruiting the players that Leipzig went on to have under Julian Nagelsmann and all these kind of managers. So yeah, Austria obviously have players such as Sabitzer, have players such as Baumgartner, David Alaba still hanging around. So they have a decent core. The way in the last Euros, they had a decent run as well in the last Euros. I think. Well, I mean, I say decent run. I think they got knocked out early on, but they had decent results. They weren't getting slapped around. But they're a good team, though. They're a good team. In third place, I'm going to go for Algeria. Algeria, similarly to, I feel like it's just a North African thing. All these teams, they pride in not getting beat. They're like, they have that kind of Italian mindset where we're going here not to lose. We're making sure we're hard to beat. We're not going to lose. Rather than winning, their mindset is not to lose. So Algeria, obviously, they lost to Nigeria in the quarterfinals of the last AFCON. No, was it Nigeria they lost to? No. It was it was Nigeria they lost to, but it was in the semi-finals they lost to Nigeria. No. It was it was the quarterfinals. My bad. Because Nigeria went on to lose to Morocco in the semi-finals. So Algeria is the team that beat us, Congo, in the last 16. They beat us. I mean, they probably were the better team. We didn't play well that game. The game went all the way to extra time, and then they scored in the final second. But yeah, they're hard team to beat. They don't score much. They don't concede much. Just like I described Egypt, just like I described Tunisia. They don't score much. They don't concede much, but they're very, very efficient team. So you don't want to be conceding against these kind of teams. You don't want to be chasing games against these kind of countries. But yeah, I have them finishing in third place. I don't think they probably might make a draw against Austria, but I don't see them beating Argentina. Definitely not. Group K, yeah, this is the group we've all been waiting for, people. Group K, yeah. This is people. This might be the group of death. For all we know, this might be the group of death. But this is my group. My country's there. The DRC, RDC. People. First World Cup since '74. Fans are gassed. We are gassed. Can't wait. This group is the group I'm looking forward to. Being back in the World Cup is such a big feat, such a big achievement, people, that you're gassed being back in the World Cup, but more so you're gassed because you're going to play against the best. You're going to be in the best stadiums, be in the best atmospheres, in the best facilities. And to be honest with you, it would have been nice, obviously, being in a group against, I don't know, a Curacao and a Haiti, where, I can sit down and say confidently we're going to go through. But nonetheless, being in a group like this is good for the players because they're being exposed to playing against the best. You don't want to be in a World Cup group playing against, in a group where you're playing against, no disrespect to these countries, your Curaçaos, your Haitis, and then you don't get through, you don't really get that full experience. And I used full experience in quotation marks, with quotation marks. When you're playing against your Ronaldos of this world, your Bruno Fernandes of this world, your Luis Diaz of this world, yeah, you feel like it's a World Cup. You feel like you're meant to be there, And this group of players that we have, people, is a group of players that are all playing in Europe. I think we're one of 5 nations with players we're one of 5 nations who don't have players who have the least number of players playing domestically. We don't have a single player in the squad who plays in Congo. So it's clear all of our players are playing in Europe, in England, France, Belgium, you name it, Portugal, Spain, you name it. Portugal is Portugal. I mean, Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Champions League winning duo, Vitinha and João Neves, Rafael Leao, the list goes on. I mean, come on. Colombia, Luis Diaz, main man, James Rodriguez makes the fold again. Always top player. To have a top player like him in the ranks, always a confidence booster, always a motivator. And Uzbekistan, star player, main man, I guess, would be Abdullah Kushanov. I know he's a center back, but he's still, the player you're looking at when you look at Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan are a hard team to beat as well. There are no pushovers. Led by 2006 World Cup winning captain, Ballon d'Or winner, Fabio Cannavaro. So Cannavaro's managerial record is not the greatest, according to my knowledge, but you know, look, here is, in the World Cup in charge of a World Cup nation. So we just gotta, you just gotta, what you call it, just wait and see, I guess, how he does. But yeah, without further ado, people, I'm gonna go for Portugal top. I mean, Champions League winning midfield, player of the season, Bruno Fernandes in the ranks. Bernardo Silva, domestic cup winner in England. So, and then you got Ronaldo. Whether or not he has a good performance, good individual tournament, him being there just lifts the country, lifts the fan base, lifts the expectation of the players. So yeah, I'd say Portugal will be top. In second place, in as much as I want to put Congo there, I'm trying to be unbiased as well. I'm gonna go for Colombia because Colombia are a household nation as well. They've been there as well. They've been in and around the tournaments for the last couple of years. They went deep as well in the Copa America, narrowly losing to Argentina in the semifinals. So they're a top team. Like, make no mistake, they have a good team. They've got good players. They've got Luis Suarez, who's just buying goals in for fun with Sporting. They're no pushovers. So in as much as I want to put Congo there, I'm trying to just look at it with realistic lens. And me putting them in second doesn't mean I think that they're gonna blitz through us. I don't think so. But I just think that it might just be a goal difference thing where they probably do better against Uzbekistan than we do, type of thing, or they might do better against Portugal than we do. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm in third place. I am going to go for. I'm going to go for Congo and Uzbekistan bottom. And that's no disrespect to Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan are a good team, and they didn't get here by luck. They had a good run as well, getting to the World Cup. But I just think we're, especially the way we qualified as well. I think we were in a tough group, people. For those of you who don't know, we were in a group with Senegal. Senegal, African champions, make no mistake. This is a Senegal team that we went to Dakar and played against them. We drew against them, gave them a tough game, and then we played them in Kinshasa, 2-0 up in Kinshasa in the first half at halftime, and then let it slip 3-2, unfortunately, which is what just propelled Senegal to go on and qualify. Had we not lost that game, we would have been the ones qualifying and Senegal being the one in the Intercontinental playoff. We played Senegal as well in the this AFCON that they won. We drew against them. We got the lead. And then, unfortunately, Masuaku made a stupid mistake. And then we conceded, and the game ended as a draw. So we're no pushovers. We went to the Intercontinental playoffs. Before we went to the Intercontinental playoffs, we played the African qualifier playoffs, and we played against Cameroon, big Cameroon, top team Cameroon, with players like Zambo Anguissa, Brian Mbumo, Onana, and we beat them. And we played Nigeria, top team as well, beat them as well. We beat them on penalties, albeit, but top team. Ademola Lookman, Iwobi, Osimhen, the list goes on. Top team. No one gave us a chance to be in this tournament, let alone to beat those two teams. So I'm not going to hear anyone say that we should not be in this conversation to go to the knockout stages. And then in the Intercontinental playoffs, we beat Jamaica with a good team as well, with guys like Leon Bailey and so on and so forth, with Ethan Pinnock and stuff. So we deserve to be here, and we're gonna make a statement. We're not here. We're not here for the sing song, people. We ain't here for the sing song. Group L: England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. I'm gonna go for England top. Best team, household names: Harry Kane, blah blah blah. Marcus Rashford, Ivan Toney, Anthony Gordon, Jude Bellingham. The list goes on. Second place. This is gonna be interesting. Second place. Do you know what? If Ghana have a good team, but you know what? I'm gonna go Croatia, Ghana, just because Croatia as well. They've been going deep, these last tournaments. these last couple of tournaments, they've been going deep. So they've got household names, your Brozovic of this world, your Modric of this world, your Kramaric of this world. So yeah, Ghana have got good players, Partey, Semenyo. It's unfortunate that what's his name, that Kudus couldn't make it, but yeah. Anyways, that's the group stage prediction. So now I gotta pick the 8 best third place teams. Okay, this is interesting. Oof, people, this is starting to get interesting now. Do you know what? Where this stream is dragging on a bit long, it's already what, an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm gonna just skim through this. I'm gonna go for my 8 best third place teams. I'm gonna go for Ecuador, Norway, Sweden, Scotland, Congo. Oh, this is hard. This is harder than I thought. Okay, so Ecuador, Norway, Sweden, Scotland, Congo. So that's 5. So I need another 3. This is hard now, people. I'm trying to remember which group Iran was in now. Because remember, the best third place teams is going to be based on the points they're getting, not based on how good these individual nations are on this list. So I'm trying to think about who they're going to be playing against as well, because that's a big one. I'm gonna go for. Do you know what? I'm gonna go for. Feck, this is hard. I'm gonna go for South Africa, Ghana, and Saudi Arabia. Oh, Saudi Arabia. No, Saudi Arabia are in the same group as. I think they're in the same group as. No, are they in the same group as Spain? I'm trying to think now. Let me just confirm. Just gonna confirm there. 2 seconds. Yeah, Saudi Arabia. Yeah. No. I need to see. Yeah, Saudi Arabia in the group is the same group as Spain and Uruguay. Iran. Yeah, Iran. I'm gonna go for Iran. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna go for Iran. So these are my 8 third place teams: Iran, Ecuador, Norway, Sweden, Scotland, Congo, South Africa, and Ghana. Yes. Let's go for knockouts. Oof, Germany, Scotland, Germany, France, Sweden, France. We're gonna go for France. I mean, I think France would have too much for Sweden. Germany as well would have too much for Scotland. I mean, they played each other in the 2024 Euros. Czech Republic, Bosnia. That's crazy that they're both playing against each other. I compared them to be similar in style of play, in the sense that they're both resolute, both tough teams that are going to be very difficult to beat. And here they are going to be playing against each other. So, nah, not Canada. I'm sorry. Canada did not make the cut for me. I just think, I'm not, no disrespect, no shade to Canada, but I just think that compared to the other countries, they probably might not get the required amount of points to be one of the best third place teams. That's just my logic behind it. Not that they're a shit team or anything. So where am I gonna go for now? Czech Bosnia. I'm gonna go for the Czechs. And this could go anywhere, to be honest, people. So if Bosnia went on to win it, wouldn't really be surprised, wouldn't be a shocker. But I'll go for the Czechs on this one. Oh, Netherlands and Morocco. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. This is wow. We're getting some tasty fixtures early on, huh? The thing is that Netherlands are a type of team that could get beat as well. They could get beat. And Morocco have shown that they're fearless, showing that they can put themselves out there against the best of the best. So, like, I don't think it's an impossible. It's outrageous to think that Morocco could beat the Netherlands. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna go for the Netherlands. But this could go anyway, to be honest. Anyway, but I just think maybe just in this final stretch, the Netherlands might just have more than Morocco. Colombia, Croatia. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good game, actually. That's a very, very good game. Wow. Round of 32. Very good games like this. Interesting. It's very, very interesting. I'm going to go for Colombia. It could go either way as well, this game, but Colombia for me. Spain, Austria. I'm going to go for Spain. We'll have too much for Austria, in my opinion. San Francisco, Turkey against Norway. Oh, this is interesting. This is a game that could go either way as well, but I'm gonna go for Norway. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Norway. Belgium, South Africa should be a good game as well, but I think Belgium should have enough for South Africa. Brazil, Japan. Ooh, very good game as well. Japan, like I mentioned, Japan are fearless. They play like there's no tomorrow. They don't fear anyone. They're gonna go out there and give their all and die on that pitch. But I think Brazil should just have. I think it would be such a disgrace if Brazil were to bow out in the last 32 of a World Cup. So I will have Brazil going through. Senegal, Ivory Coast. Wow, an all African round of 32. This is interesting. This is interesting. Senegal, Ivory Coast. Wow. This is both teams are on the same level. It's just it's a fine margins kind of game between these two. I'm gonna go for Senegal though. Ecuador, Mexico. Like I said, I feel like this isn't the Mexico of 2010 or even 2014. So it's still a decent Mexico team, but yeah, it's just not the Mexico of old. But because they're home as well, the home advantage, and the game's played in Mexico City, I think Ecuador are a better team than Mexico are. But just because of here, Mexico City Stadium in Mexico playing, I'm gonna go for Mexico. Oh no way, people. England, Congo. Hardly. How are we getting England in the last 32? That's crazy, people. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. England, Congo in ATL. Oh my God. This, guys, if this was to be the real draw for the last 32, it would feed families. It would feed families. People, the amount of Congolese man in England, in London, in Mani, this game would go crazy, people. This game would go crazy. Oh, people, this is mad. Should I go for Congo? Yeah. No. Okay, I'm gonna keep it buck. And in as much as I love the boys. I just England will probably have too much for us, unfortunately. Unfortunately. That being said, I don't think they're gonna I don't think they're gonna like destroy us. They're not gonna, you know. All right. R.I.P. Congo. Yeah, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. But look, gotta be optimistic. But anyways, I think that's where the journey ends for us, unfortunately. Argentina, Uruguay. Wow. Wow. This is crazy. Wow. I've, this is a very, very difficult game. This is going to be a very difficult game for both teams because both teams, Uruguay are a team that are hard to beat. They don't concede much. They don't score much as well. You know, they're in that same bracket as your Egypt, your Algeria's, they're just hard to beat. They just prioritize in just not losing. They're just prioritizing just being solid, being rigid, and being hard to beat. But Argentina, when you have someone like Messi, is a game changer. Uruguay don't have a game changer. Unfortunately, they have a good core. They have a midfield of Ugarte, Valverde, Bentancur, but they don't have a game changer. I can't think of a player out there who's I'm sitting down and saying, yeah, he's going to change the game for Uruguay. When Uruguay are under the cosh, he's going to be the one to change the game. Valverde, you don't call Valverde a game changer. So Argentina have a couple of game changers, so I'll go for Argentina. USA, Egypt, oof, tough, tough. But because it's in America, I'm going to go for USA. I could go Egypt, actually. This game could go all the way to penalties easily. But you know what? I will say America edges it just. Switzerland, Iran, Switzerland. Portugal, Ghana. Portugal. In as much as Ghana will be tough to play against, but yeah, Portugal, to be honest, people. Round of 16. Oh, wow. Round of 16, Germany, France. Yeah, I know. Very, very big games early. I don't know if maybe that's just how my pathway went through, how I done my predictions, allowed the big games to be on early. But if it goes on like this, crazy. We're in for a good tournament. Germany, France, people, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Germany, France. I mean, this game could go either way. When these teams have played each other in the last couple of tournaments, it's gone either way. In the 2016 Euros, Germany played France. France went on to win. In the 2014 World Cup, Germany played France. Germany went on to win. So it's been very hit and miss. They've played each other in the Nations League. It's been very even between the two teams. Both teams have got household players. I wonder what your thoughts are. This is probably the toughest game of the round of 16. This is a game that probably should be a semi-final. Really and truly, people, it should not even be a round of 16 game. I think it being a round of 16 game is not doing it any justice. I think it's a disgrace having one of these teams barred in the round of 16. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. Germany, France in the round of 16. I don't know how that happened. I really don't know how that happened, to be honest with you, because I had Germany winning their group and I had France winning their group. So I don't know how come they just happened to bump into each other in the round of 16. But hey, I'm not the one making the draw. I'm not the one doing the pathway. So yeah, it seems like you guys are going France. Yeah. I think it'd be hard to go against France, to be honest with you. I mean, as much as Germany are quality, I think it's hard to go against. I think France just have that X factor, Champions League winning, Ballon d'Or winning, Ousmane Dembele, the dictator Kylian Mbappe, Bundesliga player of the season Michael Olise, Ryan Cherokee. It's a pity Ekitike couldn't make it, but yeah, we'll go for France. We'll go for France. I think France just have too much quality. Czech Republic against the Netherlands. This is a harder game than it might look on paper. On paper, it just looks like, yes, probably straight breeze through for the Netherlands, but the Czechs are a tough team to beat. Very, very difficult team to beat. Will be hard to score against. But yeah, I think the Netherlands should have enough to get through. Colombia, Spain. Oof, very tasty game. I can't lie, people. Very, very tasty game. I don't know what you guys are saying. This is gonna be hard for Spain. It's a very tough game. Very, very tough game. Colombia, I want to say, I think they're top 3 in South America, top 3 teams in South America. So there are no pushovers, people. Colombia are no pushovers. They made the final of the last Copa America edition, lost to Argentina. So there are no pushovers. They're a very, very tough team to play against. Very good team. Top players that we've seen all around in Europe, players that we've been exposed to. But I just think knockout phase, Spain, European champions. You know, player. Apologies, people. I don't know what happened there. I was lagging there. Apologies, but we should be all good now. We should be all good. I think I had Spain go through over Colombia. Obviously, you guys see the same way as well. You see Spain going through, so I think that's all good. And big ups to those of you who are watching as well. I don't know where you guys are watching from, but big ups to you, those of you guys who are watching or engaging. But yeah, let's continue on. Let's continue on. The stream has been dragging on for too long. Norway, Belgium, people, what do you guys think about this? I think this is it's an even tie. I know, yeah, Belgium probably have the more standout players. You know, your Jeremy Dokus, your Luka Bacchios, your Lukakus, Kevin De Bruyne, of course, you know, Thibaut Courtois. But just because of how Norway done in the qualifiers, I don't know, people. I don't know. I'm trying to hear your thoughts now. Belgium win, yeah. I'm going for a Belgium win. Hey, okay. Interesting. I feel like Belgium should have enough, but as well, Norway are no pushovers. So I'm just thinking, are we underestimating Belgium too much? Because remember, this is a Norway team with, you know, the top scorer in the Prem, probably the best striker in world football right now, Erling Haaland, you know, Martin Odegaard, Captain Marvel. So Premier League winning captain, just to add it. Yeah, so I don't know. Do you know what? Yeah, let me just go with my head, and I'm gonna go with Belgium. Even though I wouldn't be surprised if Norway were to do the unthinkable. I wouldn't call it unthinkable, actually. It's not unthinkable for them to Norway. Yeah, do you know what? Fuck it. Hey, people, it's my predictions, anyways. Fuck it. I'm going Norway. Norway to get through. Brazil, Senegal. This is tough. I think these two teams played a friendly like a year ago or something, and Senegal won 4-2 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So should I base it off that, people? Should I base it off that? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe there's a bit of an African bias in there. Like I was saying, people with Brazil have not been the same since 2010. They've been very hit and miss. They've bowed out in the quarterfinals in the last two editions of the World Cup to Belgium and Croatia, respectively. So it's not the Brazil of old, albeit that they still have good players, household names. Neymar is back, Vini, Rafinha, but it's not the Brazil of old, people. Yeah, Brazil doing, yeah, okay. Oh, I don't know, people. I don't know. I want to go for Brazil, but my heart is saying Senegal. Senegal are no pushovers. These are the champions of Africa. Remember, people. These are the champions of Africa. I'm gonna go for Senegal. This is my first shock. I'm going Senegal. People, we have to be realistic. There are shocks in the World Cup. The World Cup is not played on paper. Not every team that we expect to go through in the World Cup actually goes through. We've seen Germany get knocked out in the group stages. We've seen Spain, Italy get knocked out in the group stages in the World Cup. So we've seen Morocco make the semifinals. So there's gonna be some shocks in this tournament. This for sure. So my apologies, people. I'm gonna run through this because I think my network connection is just playing too many games. So I'm gonna run through this. Just so it doesn't play again with me. But yeah, I think we've gone for Senegal. Yeah, so Senegal to beat Brazil. Let's have it, people. Let's have it. England, Mexico in Mexico City Stadium. So it looks like Mexico are playing, like, depending on how far they go through, looks like they might be playing all their games in Mexico. I mean, I know, yes, I talked about the Mexican fans and stuff, but England should have too much for Mexico. Yeah. England to go through. I think that should be easy. France, Netherlands. I mean, it looks like France are just not having it easy, guys. Hey, France just ain't having it easy. And my guy said Mexico. Yeah, I mean, hey, bro, I hear it. If Mexico go on and do it, fair play. But I just don't see it. I mean, France just ain't having it easy. Germany in the round of, as Sweden in the round of 32, and then they had Germany in the round of 16, and now Netherlands in the quarterfinals. I mean, they're just not having it easy. But I'm trying to hear your thoughts, people. Netherlands upset. Wow, I'm trying to see your logic now. I'm trying to see your logic on that. I know Netherlands have good players, but you look at their forward line, and their forward line is probably their weakness in my opinion. Memphis Depay is playing in Brazil, so he's probably past his prime. Cody Gakpo he's not had a great season. Daniel Malen, he's redeemed himself so far being on loan at Roma. Xavi Simons obviously didn't make the tournament, so yeah, their forward line, Wout Weghorst is okay. So their forward line is probably their biggest weakness, in my opinion. And with a team like France, who have an incredible back line, it's going to be interesting. How they can penetrate through the France defense. So I'm trying to hear your logic, people. I'm trying to hear your logic on why you think the Netherlands might be an upset. Look, it could go either way. This game is a game that could go France's way, it could go Holland's way for sure, but definitely gonna be hard for Netherlands to get anything out of this game. So if Netherlands are to get something out of this game, they have to take it. They have to take it past extra time. I don't see them winning in normal time, so I'm gonna go for France. Spain, Norway. I mean, Norway were my dark horses at the start of the stream, and I think make them making the quarterfinals. I don't think it's a disgrace. I think it's an achievement. I think it's a big success for the country, for the team of tournament since yeah, my stream is playing too much, people. So I'm just running through this. I can't lie to you. Apologies for just bopping in and out. But fair play to those of you who are still staying on and still watching. I think Spain, Norway. I think Spain. I think it'd be hard to go against Spain on this one. Senegal, England quarterfinals. The last time they played in 2022 in the last 16, England absolutely dispatched Senegal, 6-2, I think it was. But obviously every game is different. That was a different England team to the one that he's on now. That was a different Senegal team, albeit that they still have the core players that they had in in that respective game. But yeah, I think England win. It won't be easy. I don't think it's going to be as easy as the 6-2 in the 2022 World Cup, but I would say England probably would just have too much for Senegal down the stretch. Argentina, USA, Argentina. No disrespect to America. I know the game is going to be in Atlanta and the American crowd, but I don't think the American crowd will be enough to face this Argentina team, to be honest. And then again, it's in America, so you're going to have a lot of Argentines flying over to America for this game. It's not going to be a long journey, I don't think, for them to fly over to the US. So yeah, it should be light work. Switzerland, Portugal. Switzerland are a team that they love a shock. They do love a shock. So it wouldn't be outrageous to pick them, but Portugal just have too much firepower in the tank, so I'm going for Portugal. Semi-final, People, France, Spain. This was the semi-final of the last Euros, which Spain went on to win 2-1. I think it was Lamine Yamal with an incredible finish. France took the lead in that game actually, and then Spain went on to claw back and win 2-1, and then go on to win the tournament. So this game is not going to be an easy game, people. It will not be a flipping easy game. I'm trying to hear your thoughts. Spain, okay, you guys are going for Spain. Wow. Okay. People, you seem confident that Spain is going through on this one. Yeah. Okay. Well. This is going to be interesting. You know, if you're going to go on recent history, it'll be hard to go against Spain. But I don't know why I have this maybe this bias towards France, but I just seen I seen a chat there. The man who predicted the past World Cups predicted Netherlands to win the World Cup. Hurrah! Okay, okay, fair enough. Did he break down why he thought Netherlands were going to win the World Cup? Did he break down why or how they're going to go about winning the World Cup? Who they're going to beat along the way, or did he just come out and just say he's predicting the Netherlands to win? But this is a bold statement because the Netherlands have been nowhere near winning the World Cup since 2014, where they made the final. But it's not a far-fetched prediction. But like I said, I don't know how their attack is probably their weakness in my opinion. But we will see anyways. We will see. Spain, France were like we were saying. He said because they have no flaws and no true stars and are good as a team. Okay, I guess so. I guess so. Yeah. I mean, fair enough. I mean, you could technically say the same with Argentina. Obviously putting Messi aside, that they have no true stars and they're good as a team. But I hear it. I guess. Look. This is a game of opinion, anyways. We will find out. Spain, France. I don't know, people. What are you? It seems like you're going Spain. Do you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go France. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go France. Because you have probably arguably the best player in the world in Kylian Mbappe. You have the Ballon d'Or winner in Ousmane Dembele. You have the Bundesliga player of the season, Michael Olise. Domestic double winner, Ryan Cherky. They have a good team. Their midfield is probably their weakness, which Spain will counter because they have an unreal midfield, Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, and Pedri. But I just think that attack is just to die for. And the other semi-final is obviously, that means France make the final. The other semi-final is where is it? Oh, England and did I not? Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, I didn't even pick this quarterfinal. My bad. Argentina, Portugal quarterfinal. People, would we actually see this happening? Could you imagine the amount of people that will tune into their TVs? The amount of, my goodness, will we actually see a Ronaldo v Messi matchup in the FIFA World Cup, the biggest tournament of them all, in arguably probably their final ever World Cup? Oh my goodness. I swear, people, if this happens, yeah, because this seems to be many people's World Cup final, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think both teams make the final. It would be a blessing. It'd be beautiful. It'd be a beautiful story. What a way to end the chapter to their rivalry. But I don't see both teams making the final. But did I see Olise's hat trick? Nah, I didn't see Olise's hat trick. Who are they playing against? I didn't see his hat trick. But I mean, I'm not surprised. I just saw that a stat said that he's got the same amount of goals as Mbappe, as Dembele for France. something like that. So yeah, but I didn't see any other goals, to be honest. I might need to check it out. Who are they playing against now? Argentina, Portugal. People, what are you saying? Oh, that Portugal midfield is hard to ignore, to be honest. That Portugal midfield is just to die for. To die for. Champions League winning duo. Bruno Fernandes, Premier League Player of the Season, Football Writers Player of the Season. Ah, man, my goodness. Wow. Argentina, man, champions of the world, champions of South America, or champions of America, I guess. Oof, this is tough. This is tough. This is probably, this is tough. I won't lie. But you know, I'm going to go for, it's a tournament of, I feel like Portugal have been cursed these last couple of tournaments where they're just getting stuck. They're not getting past the semifinals. And I feel like it might just be the same this tournament. So I'm going to go for Argentina just because of that. Just because of that. Semifinals, obviously. Oh, yeah. So semifinals, I picked France ahead of Spain. So that means the other semifinal is England, Argentina. People, talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Sadly, you think Portugal? I mean, fair enough. To be honest, it could go either way. Portugal, Argentina. It could go either way. I don't think it'd be outrageous if Portugal went on to win. I don't think it'd be a shock. It could go either way for sure. But I just think because Portugal in recent tournaments, they've just not been getting past the quarterfinals. You look at 2022, they lost to Morocco in the quarterfinals. They lost to Morocco in the quarterfinals. In 2018, they lost to Uruguay in the quarterfinals. In 2014, they lost to, I can't remember who they lost to in 2014, but they went out in the quarterfinals, I think. In 2010, they lost as well, in the quarterfinals. So yeah, they've just been cursed, sadly. But if they were to go through, it wouldn't be a shocker. But yeah. Anyways, semifinal 2, England, Argentina. I mean, people, this would be crazy. This would be crazy. I mean, the last times England and Argentina in tournaments have always gone in the favor of Argentina. Let's look. I'm not trying to do an omen here, but if we're just going based off that, then Argentina should go through. In 1998, they knocked England out with the famous David Beckham red card. Obviously, so in '86, the hand of God went on to beat England, went on to win the World Cup. So I don't know. Am I clutching at straws? Maybe. England. This is tough, people. This is actually tough. England have the better players on paper. They certainly do have the better players on paper. But I just feel like somehow with England, like look at England's pathway, yeah. Like the last 32, they've got Congo, round of 16 Mexico, and then quarterfinals they've got Senegal. So England somehow they find a way to just like have decent run-ins, in the knockout stages, and then when they get to the business stage where they meet a top team, they just somehow crumble. And people, if you think about it, you can just look back at you can go through England's pathway throughout these recent tournaments, and you'll see that I am stating facts. Look at this Argentina pathway. Uruguay in the last 32, tough team. Uruguay is tougher than all the 3 teams England are playing to get to the semifinal. And then USA, fair enough. And then Portugal. So do you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna go for Argentina to win. I'm gonna go Argentina win. So and I know all the English people watching this might be going at me, but it's just a prediction after all. Final. Wow. So this is a rematch of the 2022 World Cup final. Oh, people, this is funny. This is actually funny. Yeah, a rematch of the 2022 final. We know how that went, obviously. Argentina 2-0 up. France clawed it back to 2-2. Game went to extra time. Argentina got it to 3-2. France clawed it back to 3-3. And then Argentina going on to win on penalties. It would be hard to replicate that game again. That game probably has gone down as probably one of the best games or top 10 games of the 21st century, of the 2010s. So it would be hard to replicate that game in this final. Who I want to hear your thoughts, people. I'm trying to see what the logic is here. Okay. I'm trying to see what the revenge. Mbappe scores the winner. Yeah? Is that what we're saying? Yeah. Is that what the chat is saying? Is that what we're thinking? Yeah. Okay. Now, do you know, I hear it though. I hear it because Mbappe and a lot of the France players that played in that match in 2022 would have a chip on their shoulder, basically, because to go from 2-0 down to 2-2 and then 3-2 down to 3-3 and then lose in that way, they would have a chip on their shoulders. So I think it would be big. Yeah, it would be interesting to see anyways. France, obviously, Messi back to back. I mean, if Messi does it Messi is the greatest player of all time, in my opinion. But if he were to do it back to back, I mean, that just cements him. I don't even know what ceiling that puts him on, but no one can ever chat to him for the next 100 years. Straight up, no one can ever chat to him if he does back to back, because I don't think any country has done back to back. There's been players who've won more than one World Cup, but there's no player or team that has done back to back. Probably since Brazil, the golden generation of Brazil, and I don't even know if they done back to back. I know they won a couple of World Cups within that time frame, but I don't even think they done back to back. So no country has done back to back in recent history, anyways. The World Cup is always changing hands. France too strong for Argentina. Yeah, on paper, yes. On paper, for sure. Too much talent in the French team. On paper, yeah, but the game's not played on paper, people. On paper, France had more talent than Argentina as well in 2022, but we saw how the story was written. So, but you know what? I am gonna go for France just because the World Cup has always been changing hands every single tournament. Every single tournament, the World Cup is changing hands. Like I said, there's not been a country that has gone back to back, So, like, I can't, from every tournament, you can think from when the World Cup started, it's always changed hands, people. So, I don't think Argentina will be the first team to do a back-to-back. If they do, like I said, Messi, no one can chat to him for the next 100 years. But yeah, I think France, especially look at France's pathway in my bracket. They're playing Sweden. Make no mistake, this is a good Sweden team, first of all, with Gyökeres and Isak up front. And then they're playing Germany in the round of 16. They're playing Netherlands in the quarterfinals. They're playing Spain in the semifinals. These are Germany could easily be in the final. Netherlands could easily be in the final. I mean, on the chat you said that Netherlands were predicted to win the tournament by the predictor guide. Spain won the last Euros. They could easily be in the final. So they're basically playing pre-finals before they get to the actual final. So I don't see how France would go on and beat Germany, beat Netherlands, beat Spain, and then go on to lose to Argentina. I just don't. Nah, I don't see it happening. I don't see it. But hey, people, like I said, these are predictions. So I think the only shock that I had was, I think, Senegal to beat Brazil, which probably won't go well with the Brazilians, obviously. But yeah, that's the only shock I think I had. This Netherlands Morocco, On another day, I probably could have picked Morocco, to be honest with you, people. On another day, but for today, I've gone with Netherlands. But people, we're gonna be back here in a month's time to catch up and check on how well or how far or how accurate these predictions are. But hey, people, these are, as you can see, my World Cup winners are France for 2026. We will see how far they will get in general, let alone whether they win the tournament or not. So my semifinalists, as you can see, France, Spain, Argentina, England. So England and Spain would be playing the third place, which I think Spain probably will win. But yeah, people, I will be back again in a month's time. But anyways, before the end of the tournament, we're going to be doing watch-alongs. For those of you who have not been up to date with our social media, we're going to be doing watch-alongs, myself particularly, and the other lads as well. We're just going to be trying to just budget, balance it and align it with our work schedules and our lives in general. But we'll be trying to get as many games as possible. Like I said at the start of the stream, there's about over 100 games going on. So we would be definitely trying to get at least a game every 2 days. Some of these games now, the time zones are just unfriendly. But nonetheless, people, we will still be live. We will still be around. We will still be there for it. So yeah, people, I'm gonna just put the link. I'm just gonna put the link for all our social media in the comments, just so you guys can just follow and just reach out and support. And then that's where we just keep all the information. We just keep everyone updated with what games we'll be doing and stuff like that, what we have coming up for the tournament. But yeah, I know 104 games. 104 games is crazy. Tell me about it. 104 games is crazy. I know. And I saw it's double the previous tournament. The previous tournament was about, I think it was 60 something. So it's just crazy, You predicted Spain to win. Okay, interesting. Did you use the predictor app as well, or you just predicted them just off the top of your head? Because if you did use the predictor app, I would be curious to know like who they had leading up to the final in your like in your pathway. But yeah, people, I'm just gonna drop the link for for our socials, and like I said, you can just reach out if you want to join and watch along. You can always send a DM on Instagram. We look at all our requests, all our DMs, whatever country you're from, whatever country you're willing to support, whatever country you're looking to watch, you can just pop us a DM, let us know, and we'll be happy to add you to a watch along stream that we're doing for a game. But yeah, by the way, people, where are you guys watching from? Just out of curiosity. But yeah, I'm just gonna send this on the chat now, and then you guys can just bear with me. 2 seconds. Pitch Perfect Football TV. Okay, so Spirit, I'm just having just a bit of trouble now. So yeah, people, so you can reach out to us on Instagram, on TikTok, or on Twitter, or on X. No, there's no issues. Just like I said, if you are confident, you're confident in your opinions, you're confident in your footballing knowledge. If you ever run into our watch alongs, pop a DM, and you can tag along. You can always give your little your opinions, give your thought processes on games and stuff like that. And I guess that we'll take it from there. Spain to beat Portugal in the final. Oof. Well. I mean, fair. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, recent history obviously backs Portugal. Portugal beat Spain in the Nations League, but look, every game is different. But we'll see. That should be interesting. But yeah, people. Anyways, like I said, I dropped the socials on the chat, so feel free to follow, feel free to support, feel free to reach out. We're gonna be going crazy. We're gonna be going gung ho this tournament. And yeah, we'll just see. So for those of you who are watching, those of you just keep supporting. We appreciate the support. I appreciate the support. First game is on Thursday, right? South Africa, Mexico. I will not be doing the game myself, but I think one of the boys should be live to do the game. So just keep a lookout anyways. Keep a lookout. Hey, bro, if that was to happen, yeah. If this was to happen, crazy. Like your name says, crazy. Austin is crazy. That would be nuts. All those players, yeah, build them a statue outside the stadium, outside the Stade de Martyr. If that was the case, if we were to win the World Cup. But look, a dream is a dream. But anyways, nonetheless, people, that's me. Anyways, big ups again. Appreciate the love. Appreciate everyone who came to support, everyone who's been engaging, everyone who's been giving their opinions. Like I said, we'll be back again at the end of the month, at the end of next month, to see how well we've done with the predictions. And feel free to tune in for the watch alongs and stuff. W stream. Appreciate you all. I shall see you guys soon. Peace.